Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Whistleblower. It's Adam from Two for Joy, and today I've got 4 topics for you. Once again, was it offside? How much contact do you need in the box for a push to be a foul? Then we're going to have a little half-time break where we hear a rendition of Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again by Chris Kavanagh. And then we're going to finish up with a case of Where Do I Know You From? So, without further ado, let's get into it. So we'll start off with was it offside in the game Burnley versus Brentford. 3-3 at the time. Burnley have secured a free kick in Brentford's half. The free kick taker is about to clip the ball down the line to Jayden Anthony. Jayden Anthony crosses the ball and Burnley score. Puts them 4-3 up. In a relegation battle, a very, very contentious decision to call offside on this one. And what I would say is, if you look, it's a 2-step run-up, and Jayden Anthony starts his descent down that line at the same time that the free kick taker takes his 2-step run-up. So when I show you the image of the ball about to be clipped, Jayden Anthony, I don't think, is past that first defender, let alone past that defensive line in the middle. So typically, once again, my big problem with VAR is when VAR put up this animated image of Jayden Anthony's shoulder being slightly further than the defensive line across the middle of the field, if they've got the technology to see down this line, I don't understand why we need to see an automated image and not the image on the pitch. And I keep hearing they're making the line thicker, If you look at that image from the pitch, I don't believe there's any way that Jayden Anthony is offside. And this is the same thing that we saw last week, only the polar opposite for the big clubs, when Liverpool had 2 strikers in offside positions, or Ekitike and Virgil van Dijk in offside positions against Notts Forest. Another team in that relegation battle that doesn't get points. And once again, talking of Liverpool, we'll come on to how much contact defines a foul when it's a push in the box. And it's Konate against West Ham. He moves across the box and puts both hands against the striker's back and pushes him. And while I don't feel the striker's ever getting to this cross, there has to be a question mark around, 1, whether you're allowed to do this, and 2, whether he's taken that player out of a phase of play. Now, whether that phase of play is defensive or attacking, if Liverpool turn that ball round and he's not able to run back, it's 11v10.
In my opinion, I don't think that's enough to be a penalty kick.
And then moving on, Enzo Lafay. Enzo Lafay makes a run into the box against Bournemouth for Sunderland, and I hate being on Sunderland's side, but is this contact in the back, the shoulder barge, is that enough to take Lafay off his feet? And when I slowed this down and looked at it again, he's the defender's wrong side of the ball. He's got no chance of making that tackle. Lafay's got a clear chance to swing a foot for a shot. And sure enough, I'd give that as a penalty. All day long, I'd give that as a penalty. And then as we move on, Spurs being Spursy, they just can't catch a break, especially when it comes to 2 hands in the back. Dragusin pushed out of the air by Raul Jimenez. And my point with this one is Dragusin's feet are off the floor when Raul Jimenez puts the push in. Dragusin can't change his body shape. He can't adjust himself whilst in the air. For me, this if you're going to give a push in the back for a player jumping for a header, this one is a definite push in the back. And Tottenham will be looking back at last week's game and thinking, how the hell has this happened?
Tottenham fans will point immediately to the goal last week.
That's right, that's what I just said. But let's see it. Ball comes in for Tottenham. Kolo Muani puts his hands on Gabriel's back. And my point being, when you slow this down and VAR look at this, and this is the difference between the 2 so-called fouls, is when you slow down and look at this, Kolo Muani's hands are off the back of Gabriel by the time Gabriel pushes off with his feet. And he basically just jumps and arches his back, which in my opinion is a dive. Let me know what you think. Is it a dive? Is it a dive? That's what I thought. And when I see his body shape like this in the air from that still, all I could think is, I've seen this before. Where have I seen this before? Ah, that's where I've seen it before. Of course. And then moving on. Well, I say moving on, speaking of diving, but moving on to Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. And this is a contentious decision as Cunha goes past Maxime Lacroix. And Lacroix has clearly got a hand on Cunha's shoulder. Now, my issue with this is I don't like that a free kick takes place from where the contact finishes. Because if you're Cunha, as we all know, as soon as your foot touches that line for the penalty area, you'll go into ground. We've seen him do it before. We'll see him do it again. But when I slowed this image down, once again, if you see Cunha, as soon as his foot touches that line, both arms come out, and look at Lacroix's hand. It's not on his shoulder. So there is bit of me that thinks VAR should have really looked at this with a bit more care. But typically I did turn at half time and say 1-0 up Crystal Palace, guaranteed there'll be a decision in this game that puts Man United back in it. And sure enough there was. And the same thing when I looked at Cunha and saw both those arms out, and I thought, I've seen this before. Where have I seen this before? Ah, that's where I've seen this before. And what really got me with this is Chris Kavanagh. Chris Kavanagh, once again, doing his rendition of Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. Wrong decision. Red card. Now, denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Surely, Cunha would have to be, one, in control of the ball. So, he'd have had to make a touch of that ball as it goes past him. Not have the ball running away from him. 2, be in a goal-scoring position, more central to the box, or have no other defenders around him. And 3, VAR have looked at this and still decided it's a red card. So once again, Chris Kavanagh, you've got it wrong. And the reason I say you've got it wrong is, look at this foul from last week. Crystal Palace versus Wolves. Wolverhampton. He is in central line of the box. He is one-on-one with the keeper. Adam Wharton comes in from behind, cleans him out, clear penalty. Referee points to the spot. Where was the red card? If that wasn't a denial of a goal scoring opportunity, then Cunha's cannot be. And this is once again, smaller clubs don't get the decisions. Because as we saw in that game, Critchy got a red card for kicking the ball away, but Crystal Palace didn't get a red card for denial of a goal scoring opportunity in the penalty area. Once again, VAR at its finest. And when it comes to red cards, and again, I hate to do this because it's the fucking Mackhams, but typically, Tyler Adams, the ball is running away from him in this clip. He's chasing the ball. As you can see from the still, it's almost a 50-50. Now this ball is running towards Granit Xhaka, and Granit Xhaka actually gets there first. But the speed that Tyler Adams is coming in at, the way he raises his foot to go into this challenge, is he in control? And I'll be quite honest, when I first saw it, I thought, I can't believe he's given the free kick to Bournemouth. But then when they showed it again, after VAR reviewed it, look at this slow motion and tell me Tyler Adams is in control of that ball when Granit Xhaka plants his foot, touches the ball away, and Tyler Adams ends up ankle high, full body weight on Granit Xhaka. Absolutely fucking horrendous decision. But it is not the worst decision of the weekend. The worst decision of the weekend was in the Newcastle game. And I will start with, where do I know you from? Remember this guy? From Man City versus Newcastle, the linesman, ever so pleased with himself, puts his flag up straight away. And I was thinking, where do I know him from? He's made some terrible decisions. Sure enough, he has made some terrible decisions. One of them was elbowing Andrew Robertson in the face for Liverpool. And he was stood down from refereeing for a while. I think it was about a year. But sure enough, he's back to ruin the football fans' lives and give incorrect decisions wherever he can. And this, I'm sure, is what you think I'm talking about. Beto, when the ball looks like it's gone out of play, but no. No, it's not. Because I don't believe that ball went out of play. And as many Arsenal fans will tell you, the ball does look out of play when it's at St James's Park, but it's definitely not. It's this travesty, and how I don't know how the referee, the fourth official, VAR, the linesman, and half the stadium haven't seen this. Nick Pope's fumble, a crime against football. How this defence and Nick Pope, the bench, Eddie Howe and the set-piece coach haven't been sent off for the mistakes that were made in this game. They are travesties, crimes against football that cannot be repeated. So let me know in the comments, guys, if you think the fouls in the box were fouls in the box, the red cards were red cards, the dives were dives. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for their continued support. Thanks for the subs. I've just hit enough subs and views to be able to create a membership for you lucky people out there. So stay tuned. Keep me posted. Hit me up in the chat. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next one.